right, everybody. Kelly here, the real estate ninja in Florida. And today I want to shoot this video. And if you guys are thinking about moving to Florida, here's what I want to say. Avoid it at all costs unless you can come to terms with these 8 things. All right, let's get it. In Florida, we have some unique situations. Now, let me say this. I've lived in Florida all my life, right? I briefly went to Georgia for college, and I ended up coming back. I love Florida. I think that eventually I would like to probably have a cabin up in Tennessee. We go and vacation there quite a bit, and that's just such a beautiful area with the mountains. And I envision a cabin on a river, right, with the beautiful view, the jacuzzi, the outdoor. Oh, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? And I think probably what I'll end up doing is having a place in Florida and a place there that I can go to. But one of the things we want to talk about if you're thinking of moving to Florida, and guys, let me say this, because we are a no income tax state, because we were not so lockdowny, if you will, if that's a word, lockdowny, during COVID, we've got a governor, like him or hate him, he's all about Florida and what is best for families and what, impacts he can make economically. In Florida, there are some diverse political nuances. Now, depending on where you go in Florida, where you're thinking of moving, I would definitely look at the political climate, because if you get triggered by Donald Trump or you get triggered by Joe Biden, where you move to might affect your mental acuity, right? Worst thing in the world is to be surrounded by people that are absolutely opposite you. So check out the diversity of Florida in politics. Here is a interesting heat map. And if you'll look, the blues and the greens represent more of a middle of the road to liberal persuasion. So you've got Fort Lauderdale and Miami, all in that area, Coral Springs area. That's going to be a hotbed for Democrats. So if you're more liberal, that's really a great area. If you are conservative, look at all of the red and the slightly discolored red. Those are more of your conservative areas. Now, if you're like me, I could care less. I don't care what politics you have or what persuasion you are. But for some of you, if you're considering a move to Florida and you are, triggered, I hate using that word, but anyway, you know what I mean, then take a look at the Florida political climate, because that can be very important for you. All right, let's talk about the cost of living. In Florida, it's literally all over the place, right? Tampa, which is about an hour from Orlando itself, Miami, those cities are going to have a higher cost of living. Now, if you're thinking of renting when you come down, you might as well just consign yourself that if you want something nice, you're going to be spending $200 to $3,500 a month, right? Without rent, $754 is your cost of living. Let's say you come down on vacation in a hotel or whatever. Now, rent and utilities, they've gone up this year. Now, in 2022, gas prices have gone through the roof. So in Florida, we are very hot. Now, we're going to get to that in a minute, but we're very, warm and hot during the summer. And like the conversations I'm having with people that I network with, which are mostly realtors who deal with people looking to buy a home, these are renters or homeowners looking to sell, the topic always comes up. How much does that home cost each month in electric? We're getting that question more and more now. The home that I'm in last year and the year before, the average electric bill was like $350. Our electric bill right now is over $500, and we're not doing anything that much more different. So that is something for you to consider. Check out the different areas, because yes, some areas of Florida are less expensive than others. Food has gone up in Florida. However, I will tell you that we have got some amazing grocery stores, which will be a whole nother video. If you've never been to Publix, you are in for a treat. The subs at Publix are absolutely some of the best I've ever had. But anyway, we're talking cost of living. Now, our population. Right now, we've got a little over 20 million people in the United States, and it's very diverse, which we're going to get into in just a little bit. Now, the voting age population. Let's talk about the demographic breakdown in Florida. 18 to 44 years of age represents between 42 and 45%. And if you look at the 65 years old, look how much we've gained. Nationally, 18.9% is the demographics for that represents. In Florida, we're over 24%. And if you'll notice under race and Hispanic, there is a very good demographic selection, if you will, or eclectic hodgepodge. I'm looking for a word here, where we represent really statistically what the nation's representing. I've lived in Florida all my life. I have got some of my best friends are not in the white, if you will, demographic. I have got friends from the entire spectrum, and we've developed lifelong relationships. I have some of the most amazing African American friends, some of the best Asian friends that you can have. In our area, the Hispanic population is growing, amazingly growing like we've never seen, right? So in Florida, we've got great diversity. And depending on where you decide to go, will depend on, that particular area in Florida. But please understand, you can research this for yourself online, but our population, in my humble opinion, is very diverse and just an absolute joy to be around. When we go out, depending on the areas that we go to, it's just amazing. And guys, back to restaurants, because our population is so diverse, we've got some amazing restaurants. Now, my son lives in Austin, Texas, and you go there for the barbecue. I've been to many different states. States have their own, New Orleans, Cajun, right? I mean, states have their own flavor. Florida is amazing. We've got great barbecue. We've got some amazing Hispanic restaurants, some of the best Spanish food. Matter of fact, if you go to Tampa, right outside of Tampa, there's a place called Ybor City, and there is some amazing Spanish restaurants there that absolutely, when you go to them, it's an experience. But again, the electric profile and the demographics of Florida is varied and very diverse. All right, let's talk about tourism. Tourism is probably one of the number one industries in the state of Florida. Now, do you know why people move here? Yes, for the weather. Yes, for the fact that it's very diverse, lots of fun things to do. But guys, when I say fun, right over here, we've got Disney, SeaWorld, and Universal. Over here, we've got Busch Gardens. Up here is St. Augustine. If you've never been to St. Augustine, what an absolute joy. As a matter of fact, that's where my wife and I honeymooned. The oldest city and fort in America right there, guys. And then we've got all these miles, hundreds and thousands of miles of coastline, Daytona Beach, Cocoa Beach. You've got NASA right over here, Tampa, Clearwater, St. Pete, all of this, Sarasota, all of these beaches. Matter of fact, if you go on this side of the state, which would be Daytona, Cocoa Beach, and Palm Beach, the water, well, actually mostly up towards Cocoa and Daytona, the water's going to have a different look. But if you go down here to Tampa and down to Fort Myers, the water here is that beautiful teal, bluish green. It's just amazing. And we've got some awesome places that we like to go to, depending on what mood we're in. If you come down here towards Miami, Palm Beach, all of that, there's some amazing beaches, right? And then we've got several football teams. So if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, I'm dating this video. We've got Tom Brady, right? So if you're a big sports fan, we've got it all, guys. We've got triathlons, Ironman. I mean, it just goes on and on. So tourism is massive. Now, if you become a Florida resident, you can get what we call a season pass holder to Disney World. It's very inexpensive compared to I think regular tickets are like over $130 a piece right now for the day. Family of four, you're talking about $500 to $700 before we talk about food and parking and gifts. So if you're a Florida resident, you might want to get a season pass holder ticket to Disney. And it's literally pennies on the dollar compared to spending the ticket amounts that you would have to get as a one-off. All right, let's move on. Now, this is a tricky one. Depending on where you're at in this spectrum, I know this can be touchy. And I want to make sure that for those of you that have had some issues with this or it's touched your life, I'm sorry. But we do have to talk about Florida with regard to gun laws. We are, for the most part, a pro-gun state. You can get a concealed weapons permit and carry a gun with you as long as it's concealed. We've got a lot of pro-gun sheriff departments here. So if you come to Florida, please understand, if guns are a trigger for you or they scare you, we are a pro-gun state. Now, having said that, you're not going to go outside and see people like they do in the cowboy movies. But please be advised, this is a pro-gun state. There's a lot of laws on the books in Florida for guns, but if you're a pro-gun advocate, Florida would be great for you, and you can get a concealed weapons permit down here, so you can carry if you'd like to. But anyway, that's just one of the nuances of Florida. Let's move on. Here's a big one. If you're retired, this is the state for you. As a real estate agent, we sell a lot of homes to the 55 plus community. And I love hearing stories of people that live up in Canada, right? Up in Vermont, Rhode Island, New York, places that get really cold, right? Well, they're coming down to Florida and enjoying this weather. And if they want, they can go back up north when it's not 400 degrees below zero. And we have that a lot. A lot of times you'll see your retirement crowd come down here and buy what we call a winter home. They'll come down here maybe September-ish through February. And then as it's getting hotter, they'll go back up north where they can avoid the, sub-zero Arctic temperatures. Side note, my wife and I have been enjoying this show called Deadliest Catch on Amazon. They've got all the seasons. We've been binging it. And it's amazing. As a Florida boy, I could not fathom walking around where literally ice crystals can form on your mustache or beard, right? You wake up and your car is covered in ice. Don't judge me if you're up north. I'm just telling you, I'm a Florida boy. I think I've driven in snow one time and it scared the bejesus out of me. But this is the place. If you are a 55 plus, one of the premier subdivisions, it's like one of the largest 55 plus communities. I don't even call it a community. It's like a freaking city. The Villages, Florida. Hundreds of thousands of people there. It literally, the entire demographics is 55 plus. Just about every economic spectrum. They've got, homes from the 150s all the way up to the 5 million. They've got multiple, when I say golf courses, like dozens, every kind of eatery. They've got little towns like this that just absolutely are such a pleasure. If you're 55 looking for retirement, check out the Village. And if you want more, if you're thinking of retirement, just go ahead and drop me a comment below. My contact information will be in the description, and I can send you some information on any area that you're interested in Florida. And I can also send you information regarding what's available and the price points that are down there. But anyway, I digress. We are a fantastic place for retirees to come. All right, here's the one that's kind of the monkey in the woodshed, right? Now, in California, if you're in California, please forgive me. You guys have earthquakes. They're unpredictable, right? They could happen at any time. The thought of being in a townhome 50 stories up and it's shaking would scare the living stuff out of me, right? So there's wildfires in the West. There's earthquakes in California. There's riots in other parts of what do we have? We have the propensity to have hurricanes and tropical storms. And if you've never lived through one, the first time you do, if you're not connected with Jesus, you probably will be after that. I remember back in 2004, first time. I'm 56. So I've been in Florida all my life, been through many, many tropical storms, many, many different weather patterns, hurricanes. In 2000, I believe it's 2004, we had a unique event in Florida. And I'll never forget because I was actually a contractor. I built things back then. And my business depended on me being out, right? Because I was out building and I had employees. In 2004, during hurricane season, in 1 month, in 1 4-week period, we had four hurricanes crisscross the state. We had 2 of them come from this direction and 2 came from this direction. And literally when one would go through, within days, another one, and then another one. Literally, I remember the entire month was just weather, wind, and thank God the 3 of the 4 were very minor. They did cause damage, but it wasn't total devastation. One of the 4 actually went down closer towards the southern part of Florida and did do some damage there. But guys, Florida is prone to hurricanes. And so when and if you come down here, you're going to want to make sure that your home, the home that you pick, is built well. You know, we've got some homes that are older, that are all wood frame, and nothing wrong with those. But if this type of thing is something that is of interest to you, then just please make sure that you're aware. We do have these things. Be prepared. One of the things I tell all of the people that I work with in real estate when they buy a home, you know, make sure that you have a plan of action. If a storm comes, where can you go? Do you know the routes to take? Are you aware of when you do need to leave so you're not stuck in traffic, in a jam? Also, if you're going to stay home, now I don't recommend it if you live on the coast itself, but if you're in the interior and you're going to stay home, be aware of flood areas. Make sure that you've got a plan for that, and then have plenty of food that can be kept without refrigeration, because I remember during 2004, we were without power for a couple of weeks, and that is really bad. But again, Florida, we do have hurricanes. Now, we haven't really had any in a couple of years that were significant. Thank you, Jesus. But you never know, right? All right, let's move on. And this one's actually something that you could actually, it goes hand in hand with tropical and hurricane development for Florida being an issue, and that is insurance. So guys, I want to just spend a minute and talk about the insurance situation. And this goes back to why you might want to avoid moving to Florida if you can't overcome this issue. In Florida, we unfortunately are having an issue now where a lot of major homeowner insurance carriers are leaving the state. They're just tired of the lawsuits. So what's happened, and I happened to be at a real estate mastermind event over the weekend, and we had a owner of one of the biggest Florida insurance providers for homes speaking at the event. And what she was saying was eye-opening to me. And I've been a realtor forever, and I didn't realize how bad this was. And it's probably going to get a little bit more worse before it gets better. A lot of roofing contractors have come into the state in the last 10 years or so, and they would cover a lot of neighborhoods, and they would knock on the door, send direct mail or whatever, and they would speak to the homeowner in such a manner that would say, yes, I can get your roof. I can get you a new roof on this house, blah, blah. And they would do something called an assignment contract where the homeowner would actually sign over the rights to the contractor to act on their behalf. Think of it like a power of attorney. So where the homeowner now doesn't have the right to go negotiate, the contractor will. And then the contractor would file a claim against the insurance company. They would meet the insurance adjuster out there, and the insurance adjuster would turn it down saying, no, this roof is not bad. There's just a couple things that need to be fixed, but we're not going to replace the roof. And then the roofing contractors would file a lawsuit. And what they're telling us is it wasn't just a couple lawsuits. We're talking about insurance companies getting sued for billions. Now, the insurance companies could do one of two things: pay these roofing contractors irreputable to some degree, some of them, not all of them, but the ones that were using and gaming the system. They could either pay them or they could pay the claim. So they were between a rock and a hard place: either lose money by paying off the false claim or pay my attorneys. And so because of that, a lot of these carriers just simply left the state. So what they're saying now is some insurance carriers won't insure a home if the roof is 10 years old or more, and they say it might go down to 5. If you're a tile roof, they're talking 15 years. Well, most of the houses in Florida are going to be over 10 years, right? Only new construction can qualify for that. So again, this is one of those issues that we're going to be navigating in terms of the rough water in Florida. So if you are planning on buying a home, you need to have a real estate agent that knows what's going on and can navigate these waters and negotiate on your behalf. If you're selling your home, you need a good realtor that can do some research, and let's find out what's going to happen when your roof is inspected by the buyer's company, mortgage company, or insurance. If the buyer tries to get insurance, you've got to be able to know what you're going to do so that you mitigate the loss of a lot of your equity. Makes sense? So this is one of those issues that I think is imperative as a homeowner that you need to do. So again, if you are not living in Florida now and you're thinking of moving to the state, go ahead and reach out to me. I will leave my information below, and I will answer anybody back that has a question for me. If you're thinking of buying, just let me know what questions you have, and I will get back with you. And if you live in Florida and you're thinking of selling your home, we should probably talk, because some of the things that we've talked about in this video can affect you with regard to how you guys are going to profit on the sale of the home. And guys, that's it. Thank you for coming to the channel. You know what? Hit the subscribe button and the bell. Stay up to date when I release new stuff. I'm going to be dropping some major content on this channel as it relates to the state of Florida, as it relates to all the happenings in Florida, the real estate market, the education market, our economy, politics, retirement areas, best places to live in Florida. We're going to be dropping some massive content. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I can't wait to see what comments we get on this video. All right. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If this video was boring and you hated it, don't give me a thumbs down. No, I'm kidding. Do whatever you want. All right. I will see you guys hopefully on the next video. Have a great day.